everyone. I'm Carey Pena, and thank you for joining us for our talk show In the Moment, focused on how to live your best life. I am here now with my co-host, Gelie Akhenblit, who is the founder of Networking Phoenix, Zenobia Mertel, who is a life and style columnist with InspiredMedia360.com, and in the moment with us today, Michael Washington Brown. I was going to try to bust out my best British accent, but the Zenobia shamed me. So Michael, you guys are going to love his story, and we so appreciate having you on the show.
I appreciate you allowing me to be here. Thank you.
Known actor, writer, producer, you kind of got it going on. You have a hot show called Black, and we're going to be talking more about that. Zenobia just went to go see it.
Still spinning in my head.
It's so beautiful what you've accomplished. But first I want to share a little bit about your backstory.
Sure.
Because I always do a pre-interview with our guests, and I asked you to tell me more about your journey and how you got to where you are today. And you wrote me saying, this journey has taught me that when you have a purpose to do something in your life, which we all do, that you must answer the call because nothing else will suffice. I had stepped away from acting in the theater for over 16 years. I somehow convinced myself that I had missed the boat, and despite feeling a little awkward with the late transition at age 38, I followed my purpose. Let's start there.
Wow.
I mean, that is something, because you fell in love with the theater at a young age.
I did.
You went a different direction.
Yeah.
And then when did it hit you that you needed to go back and do what you
I know the exact moment. So I refer to it as a stirring. I was having this stirring inside of myself, and I couldn't quite place what was causing it. It wasn't that I was unhappy with what I was doing. It's just that I didn't feel that sense of fulfillment. And so I remember I was on the New York Times online. It was very early in the morning, and I was just browsing the arts. I would always go to the arts section, right? Because I wanted to see what was going on. And there is a dear friend of mine, an actor. He and I performed together in San Francisco. As a matter of fact, we performed at a kids' theater company. That's where I first met him. And then we went on to do other things. And he continued, and I stopped. I took a different turn. And I remember clicking, and his face popped up. And I just froze. And he had this, so he was sitting at the Tonys, having been nominated for the show that he was in for a Tony. And the cameraman caught him where he had just turned slightly, and as got above me, it was like he was looking at me saying, "You should be here."
Wow.
And in that moment, I said, why am I not doing this? Why am I not acting? Why am I following my passion? And the next day, I Googled locally for acting coach, and I said, I'm going to work for a little while, putting together some material, and once I made that decision, it's like, okay, there it is. I didn't know how it was going to unfold.
Yeah.
I just knew I had to commit to the decision.
And I thought what was so beautiful is that you were so honest in saying that your age, I mean, because that's a big thing for a lot of people. They think, oh, now I'm 36.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm 40.
Yeah.
But, I mean, nothing could be more false than to let age
true.
prohibit you from doing what you want to do.
So true. And I think what happened for me was, okay, so I stepped off the stage, but I was living on the stage of life. Because everything that I was experiencing, success and failure and becoming a parent, getting married, getting divorced, all the financial woes, all these things are the fragments that we pull from, right? If you're going to connect to somebody, you connect because you have a similar story. As a parent, I can connect with everybody here because we're all parents.
Yeah.
If I weren't a parent, there may be certain things you would say, I'm like, oh, I don't quite get that. So the things that I experienced unknowingly these things were infusing life into me.
Yeah.
So as I later on said, okay, this is it, I started to realize that, first of all, I never lost anything. But I became a deeper person.
Yeah. And probably I would think that helped you so much in your role in the theater.
Oh, my goodness.
So tell us about Black. That's a perfect segue because it is a deep performance.
Yes, thank you.
Tell folks what it is and how it came to you, because that's great too.
Thank you. So Black is essentially 4 individuals who are from different parts of the world, the Black global community, and they each describe what their individual perspective is being Black. So one is African, one's African American, the other is English, and the other is Jamaican. Now, I connect with all 4 of those characters. And the conversation literally began years ago where people would say, where are you from? England.
Right.
Are you African American? How can I be African American? I grew up in England. And they're like, no, black. And then as I've lived here, I started to realize that people who are not black felt uncomfortable saying black. But you cannot classify me as African American. No disrespect to African American. I'm not from Africa. I'm not American. Well, I guess my roots are from Africa. So that's where it sort of started. I was watching a 60 Minutes piece about these Africans who had figured out a way to monetize their entrepreneurial efforts bypassing banks. They went directly through phones. They would share money through their phones. I thought it was brilliant. And then I was looking at this guy and he was wearing an Adidas top, and I'm like, I relate to this guy. Like, I've seen this guy a million times in my life in different places. And as God's above me, I said to my girlfriend, I said, I think I'm going to write this show. And she said, what? And I wrote down black, and I wrote the synopsis, and I put it down. And then a couple days later, I was at home because I always write well at night, and literally it's like this character said, here's what I want you to say.
Wow.
And I've written other shows, and this show was completed in 6 weeks. And it was the highest spiritual experience I've had, other than performing it, was allowing these characters to show up and surrender to their voice.
Why do you think this is an important conversation to be had today?
Great question. When I wrote it, it was never, ever about addressing racial differences or divisions, etc. But the timing, it does cause you to think, wow, there's something really...
How it all came together
right?
now.
Yeah, that why now, with all that's been going on, etc. I think what I hope is that this show creates an opportunity for people at home, at work, in their individual settings, maybe after seeing the show, that they feel more comfortable having a conversation.
Did you take that away, Z? Because you just saw it.
It was so amazing. Yes, I took away that we shouldn't be so politically correct with everything, and you really made that, gave people permission to say, okay, we're all connected this way. I loved all the different ethnicities that you threw in there, and I was kind of joking before, I think that you should do the show for every ethnicity because it was so eye-opening and unifying and showed that we're way more alike than we are
100%.
different.
When did we stop laughing at ourselves?
Right.
Right? I mean, I remember...
I laugh at myself all the time.
I do too!
I just, for one, can say that.
You gotta.
You have to, because you're right, though. The point you're making is when you take life too seriously, I think that translates into a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and it's just pervasive in our culture.
And I think there's a lot of... Sorry, Carey. I think there's a lot of people that feel like they want to fight a cause, and maybe a cause for another culture, and they realize that you're taking this way more seriously than the people who, they're not being offended by it. So why should you?
Yeah.
So I have to ask you, as we wrap your segment here, how did it feel getting back on the stage? And for people who might apply this to their own lives and be watching your story and be thinking about going out and pursuing a dream that they have, no matter if they're 40 or 80, whatever. How did that feel?
One word: breathing. I was breathing again. I would, to me, if you're not serving everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a reason that they're here, and it's not necessarily one purpose. And if you know what that is, it's one thing if you don't know, but once you know, I believe you have an irrevocable right to embrace it and share it, because the gift of your purpose is giving it away, finding a way to share it. And that then becomes the gift to you.
Oh boy, I just love that
and
so much.
Once you do that, you begin to live.
Yeah.
And all the details, see, we get bogged down with detail. How's it going to happen? What people are going to say? How do I get the money? This, that, the other. Just do it. And the universe will support you.
Yeah.
It really does. It's like Paulo Coelho's book, The Alchemist.
Oh, yeah.
The universe will meet you where you need to be. It's the same thing. If I sat down and thought about all the ways I would make this show happen, I would have never have done it. I would have frozen.
Yeah.
But the universe, God, people just came. It's a one-man show, but I don't walk alone. I have my ancestors, and I have everybody that's on this journey with me helping me.
So beautiful. We appreciate having you
Thank
here
you
to
very
share the
much.
story with
Thank
us.
you.
And that certainly resonates with me. I mean, I feel a passion in creating journalism that I think is important and can help contribute to a bigger conversation.
I
So
agree.
what you're doing really speaks to me.
Thank you.
Now it's time to thrive with Gelie. So we'll stay on sort of an inspirational how to make your life better movement that we've got going here, because you're talking about how vacation, really vacationing, stepping away is important, Gel, and you're going to share your experience. But first, I just want to lay out for our audience, you sent me a study that I found really interesting. You said this study in Glassdoor found that 66% of people work on their vacations.
Yeah.
I mean, incredible. And the article says we all really need to get it together and start vacationing the right way. Taking a break from work can be great for productivity. On the flip side, working without any time off is a great way to burn yourself out. And that's what happened to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, this is Americans. Okay, this is not the rest of the world, which
Yeah.
I think is so interesting to talk about. So, gosh, so much of what you just said resonates with me, going right into the segment. And for me, and I know you can relate to this. What is it like to be a creator when you can't create? Like you literally just cannot create. And so for me, running my company for 10 years, building it from scratch, and again, I went through a lot of the same lifestyle you did, divorce, kids, whatever. I came to this point where, and me being an entrepreneur and a single mom, taking time off is like really not at the top of my to-do list. It got to the point where I was like, I'm done. So it was the end of May, and I'm like, I'm giving myself the whole summer off. I'm taking 2 months off, which honestly is like, I don't even know how I'm gonna do this. Like this isn't something I can just do, But somehow I just did, and it was one of those things where not only did I take the time off, but I took time off to do nothing. Nothing. I didn't check email. I remember one of my friends emailed me, or she texted me and she said, Gelie, I've sent you 3 emails, you're not responding. And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't check my email. And she's like, you run a business, you can't do that. She yelled at me. And I'm like, oh, but I can. And look, the world didn't stop. Like that is literally what I said to her. The world didn't stop.
And what did it do for you, Gel, checking out like that? Because we're going to show some pictures of your traversing all over. I thought it was cool. You did some yoga. And one of the things that you made a point of saying to me is that you read a book, and then you wanted to meet this author, and so you just got up, went to LA, and went to go meet her.
I jumped on a plane and went to meet her. I'm like, wow, I listened to her podcast. I'm like, she's great. Got her book. I'm like, oh, she's doing a book signing? I jumpped on a plane, flew to LA, got to meet her. And what's important, when we say vacation the right way, what I did for myself was put myself completely outside of my element, meaning I created little adventures for myself. So I love to travel alone, and I know a lot of people say, oh, I don't know if I want to do it. That's when you meet people. That's when you have adventure. That's when your mind completely flips, and that's when your mind gets that break. And when your mind gets that break, then you can start to create again.
How huge was this for you?
It's unbelievable. So I gave myself 2 months off. I came back to work, and then I realized, no, I need another month. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm even back yet, to tell you the truth. But there's no shame in it. I feel like in our American culture, it's like we have like shame or fear about taking time off, and it's just so opposite, because I can't serve. Like you said, I can't serve people. I can't do what I'm meant to do if I am like on the floor, bogged down, burned out, not creating, can't even make the right decisions.
Yeah.
So taking time off and really just shutting out all the unnecessary email, because I'm sorry, friend, if I didn't respond to your emails. The world didn't end.
Just letting it go.
Letting it go, and then I can actually come back. And the tasks that seemed so big to me a few months ago are minuscule. Get them done like that.
Well, I think too that Michael's point probably resonates, because if you would have thought about what it would be like to take all that time off, you might not have done it because, oh, how's this going to happen? How's that? Instead, you just made the decision and went with it and let the universe kind of take you where it will.
I think that's what, when you have a purpose that's greater than you, it sort of guides you. You just trust, faith. You trip, because as we live in this culture, we want to figure everything out. I got to figure out A to Z, right? But no, just take the step. Don't worry, tomorrow will be fine. Everything works out. So,
I'll tell you what Zenobia is trying to figure out all the time: dinner for her family. Now we're going to vibe with Zenobia, because I'm so glad that you're doing this segment today
Yeah.
because these meal delivery services are super hot.
Yeah.
And I was trying out one Blue Apron, which is great, very delicious. But you tried out one, and I love it because it's the local entrepreneurs who are doing this.
Yeah. So what do you think if I just said, it'll happen?
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about it. It'll just present itself. I don't think my kids would be very happy. But this is an ongoing plight, and especially with the beginning of the school year and everyone's back in their schedules. We're a family of 5. We're caught up in this American lifestyle. That's why we try to vacation and we take it. When we're taking it, we take it. But I've tried different meal services. I've tried Blue Apron, but that requires some cooking. And you know me, that's not my skill set. I've tried Sunfare, where the food is prepared and at your doorstep, and that wasn't nutritional enough. Well, there's a local couple that they're doing this out of passion, following their why, and they started this company, and it's prepackaged meals, but they're doing it the right way because they're setting up locations where you can pick up. They make it very convenient. The pricing's not too bad. It's about $8 to $10 a meal. It's Alpha Foods AZ.
Yeah.
They just launched, and they have more than 400 to 500 meals they're preparing for customers. So the way it works, and this works for us. So I tried it last night, and it was a kind of a last minute thing, and they were able to accommodate. You place your order by midnight on Friday night. They cook all weekend. They cook in a local, they've rented a local kitchen. So they're doing it right. They source locally, so the food is fresh, delicious, and everything has the heat up instructions on it. So for a family of 5 like us, I ordered a couple meals. I got the salmon, and they have dessert, which my kids liked. And it's easy because it's pick up at a location near my house. You can order as much as you want. Some people do 20 to 30 meals a week. For us, maybe it's just a couple times a week just to supplement.
And it's healthy, right, See?
Convenient, totally healthy. They do the macro nutrition diet, so everything's spelled out. So literally from bodybuilders to stay-at-home moms that just need a little more help with getting food on the table, and I know that drill.
Yeah.
They're nailing it. And so they're going to expand. They're doing really well.
Yeah.
Check them out, Alpha Foods. I'm really proud of them.
I
They're
will check
living
that
their
out.
passion.
I love it. Thank you, Z.
Sure.
And now we want to do a little Wisdom Wednesday. I bet you love the kind of Wisdom Wednesday.
love it.
You
I
like
love
bring
it. I
it.
love that.
We want to check in with our friend, lifestyle coach Darlene Santor, and she's sharing some wisdom with us today. And all has to do with staying focused on how to reach your dreams. Don't give up. Here's Dar.
Hey everyone, it's Coach Dar. I wanted to share a little message. I had posted a couple days ago, it said, keep going. And it seems so simple, right? Keep going. But what I wanted to share with you today is that so often we get started, we're excited, we're passionate, and then we lose steam. And we give up, and we let all the negative thoughts start coming into our mind. I want to remind you today, it takes persistence. It takes you staying connected to your why you started to keep going. See, things are going to get tough. Your goals, they were never meant to be easy, but they were meant where you were to push out of your comfort zone. You were to be pushed by your passion in order to keep doing it. Those that get from good to great understand this. And by the way, the people that you know as celebrities and that are famous, it's only because they didn't stop and you know about them and they achieved such greatness, such levels. Have that kind of will for yourself. Push yourself to that next level. Stay connected to your why and be the person that doesn't give up so we can know about your gift that you're sharing with us and sharing with the world. Because when you do that, it's like a big thank you back for the gift that you've been given, and we get to receive that gift. And if all of us share our gift and don't stop and keep going, we all rise together and win. So keep going, persevere, stay consistent, and I can't wait to see what you do. Great things ahead.
Thank you so much, Dar. And she makes a really important point about the fact that, especially if you're an entrepreneur or trying to reach out and make your dreams come true, there's ups and downs. Yeah. And the point Dar is making is that you have to stick with it because a lot of people get scared and they bail. Yeah. And then they don't really reach where they want to be able to reach. Right, and that's important.
Right. I remember once somebody said to me, I was actually walking into the gym and the girls were talking up front, they said, ask Michael. So they said, what are you most afraid of? And I said, not living the life I'm supposed to live. And they were like, see, you'd have to get deep. And I was like, no, like spiders or scorpion. I'm not afraid of it. I mean, I'm kind of afraid of it. But I'm much more afraid of croaking and not doing what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Huge. Yes.
It's so important.
At least make sure that you gave it the effort that you can be
least.
proud of.
Yes.
If you need to take a turn, like, I don't ever like to focus on the negative, but you can see if something is going to work, but give it everything.
Sure.
And that's what Dara is
Sure.
saying, is
Yeah.
give it everything. Now we're going to go out to lunch with David Lux and Mama Lux. They do a restaurant review for us because we love the fact that David spends every Saturday with his mama. It's so cool. So David writes in saying, Mama Lux and I only had one more pizza joint left on the Phoenix Magazine's 10 best pizza spots to check out. So we headed over to Il Bosco in Scottsdale, and thank God we did. He writes in all caps. This place, he says, is top 3 in the Valley, and when you consider that Phoenix has recently been voted as the best pizza city in the country, Il Bosco is really onto something big. We started off with sweet red peppers stuffed with Italian sausage, then a Caesar salad with a bit of lemon twist that I hadn't tasted since living in LA, and then we finished it off with the Valentina pizza and pepperoni. You know how much Mama Lux and I love shops that keep it in the family. This is our sleeper pick of the summer, and we can't wait to come back and dine on that patio this fall. Have you been there, Z?
Yes, it's right down the street. We go a lot. It's very good. And it's also right down the street from the original Euro House. So delish.
Yeah, I love the
That whole
fact too.
strip.
Any place where the owner will come out and chat it up is my kind of place.
Yeah.
Very
I love
mom
that.
and pop in there, in
Yes.
that little square.
We love to cover a little bit of everything on this show. It's all about, like I said, living your best life. So as we wrap things up, Michael, if you would, just leave the audience with the final thoughts, kind of your words of inspiration to them.
Oh, I think, we talked about a lot of different things. I think the thing is, each of us knows there's got to be that one thing that it calls to you. And I just believe that it's so important to answer the call. And once you answer the call, things just sort of unfold. So just trust that call. And it doesn't matter if you're an attorney or whatever you're doing. I know a lot of people have families and stuff, but things just have a way of working themselves out.
How do you feel today? I mean, you seem like a happy person. And I love you so much because you came up to me in the gym. I didn't know him. He came up to me and said, you're like the little Oprah of the Valley. I was like, well, as a matter of fact, you need to come on my show. But you just seem like such a genuinely happy person.
Listen, I wake up every day. I live in a beautiful place. I have my health and strength. I've got a beautiful family and community that supports me. And I'm serving God's will. And as a result of serving that will, even after this weekend, having people send me messages and just the impact it's made, how can you not feel happy when you're living, you're truly living, right?
Yeah.
And I've lived different kinds of lives too, so this by far is where I'm supposed to be, but I'm grateful for every experience that got me here.
We loved having you on the show today,
Thank you for
Michael.
having
Thank
me.
you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much.
being
My
here.
pleasure.
And thanks to all of you for following along with us on this crazy journey we call Inspired Media 360. We have a great growing community of people who love to follow along with our shows and various content. You can follow along with us at inspiredmedia360.com and of course on Facebook at Inspired Media 360. The main point we want you to take away is go out there and live in the moment. Thanks guys. Enjoy.